Hi there, my name is Richard McMunn from the interview training company passmyinterview.com, and in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to pass an Amazon Leadership Principles interview. So if you have any kind of manager or leader interview coming up with Amazon, please do stick around and watch this tutorial because I promise it will make a huge difference to your preparation and your performance at the interview. So as you and I know, Amazon has these brilliant 14 leadership principles, and these principles are designed to keep Amazon at the top of its game. And if you're going to be employed as a manager or a leader, then you have to be able to demonstrate them both at the interview and also in your work. So we need to assess why they are so important, and I will also give you a number of Amazon Leadership Principles interview questions and answers throughout this presentation. Now, before I do that, a very warm welcome to this interview training tutorial. My name is Richard McMunn. That's me there in the centre of the screen. I am a former fire officer and founder of the interview training website, passmyinterview.com, and I've been helping people for 20 years now to successfully pass their interviews, and I always do that by giving you top scoring answers to the interview questions that you can't find anywhere else. Please do make sure you subscribe to the channel by clicking the red button below the video, and then you won't miss out on any of the weekly training videos I'm uploading. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to. My LinkedIn link is in the description below the video. And I would also very, very much appreciate your support if you gave the video a like. Thank you very much. That tells me you enjoy the content, and I will then create more for you. So what are these Amazon leadership principles, the 14 Amazon leadership principles, and why are they so important? So for the next couple of minutes, I want to spend a bit of time going through these, tell you what they are, and also how you are likely to be assessed against them at the interview, and we will then move on to the interview questions and answers. So the first Amazon leadership principle I want to look at is customer obsession. One of the reasons why Amazon is such a brilliant company, one of the best organizations in the world, and it has been for many years, is because it obsesses about the customer. So the number one most important person in Amazon is the customer, and everyone who works in Amazon always focuses on the customer at all times. So my advice, and this is an important tip, is in preparation for your Amazon interview, is to make sure that you have a couple of examples of when you have been able to show how you've gone above and beyond for a customer or a client in a previous role. So the question might be posed in this way. They might say, can you give 2 examples of when you have gone above and beyond what was required in regards to customer service or client service? Okay, so think of 2 examples in preparation for your interview. The next one is about earning trust. You have to be able to treat everyone you work with respect. Okay, and that's people you work with in Amazon and also external stakeholders, because if you do treat people with respect, you'll be able to do better business. The next one is hiring and developing the best people. So leaders in Amazon move forward and they improve with every person they hire. The next one is about thinking big, the next Amazon leadership principle. So you should have big ambitions and always go out of the way for the customer. So what I mean by that is Amazon is always delivering great customer service, but it is always doing different things. So for example, it was responsible for introducing the Kindle, which transformed the way that the way that customers read. They have been responsible for improving delivery service so that customers get their orders quicker. So they are always thinking big and focusing on the customer. The next Amazon leadership principle is bias for action, which is actually just getting things done. So you have to be someone who gets things done and is someone who takes action. Another Amazon leadership principle is that you are right a lot of the time. So if you're going to be a leader, you have to have strong judgment skills. So you might get asked a question that goes along the lines, can you tell me about a time when you had to make a difficult decision with limited information? The next Amazon leadership principle is insisting on the highest standards at all times. So you should be able to demonstrate that you can work to high standards always. You need to show that you are somebody who is professional and wants to achieve the highest standards with everything you do in your work. Another Amazon leadership principle is diving deep. So you have to be able to look into things deeply and analyze information that you have available. This is one of my favorite Amazon leadership principles, and that's of taking ownership. So you have to be able to take ownership of situations and be responsible and accountable. And another really important tip I want to share with you is never at any stage during your responses to the Amazon interview questions say that it was somebody else's fault. Don't say that. You could say, I was working as part of a team and somebody made a mistake, but we took ownership of that collectively together. We learned from it and we put things right. Don't ever blame somebody and single them out for making a mistake. It's the team's mistake, the organization's mistake, and you have to put things right. That's the important thing. And on top of that, you have to be able to learn and develop. So learn and be curious is another Amazon leadership principle. So you have to be able to improve, develop, and also ask questions. So you could get asked an interview question during your Amazon interview that goes along the lines of, can you tell me about a time when you learned something new that was outside of your comfort zone? So that's a question I would prepare for. Frugality is achieving more with less. So keep your eye on the finances. Have backbone and disagree. So can you give an example of a time when you had a disagreement with a work colleague or a manager? Now, it's good to have disagreements and to challenge people, but you do it in a professional manner and then you have to move on with an agreed course of action. The next Amazon leadership principle is invent and simplify. So you have to be able to lead teams that innovate and come up with different ideas. And then finally, delivering results. That's the final Amazon leadership principle. Are you someone who can deliver results, get things done in a timely manner? When have you achieved a task, a difficult task, within strict time constraints? So that's the 14 Amazon leadership principles. My advice in preparation for your Amazon interview is to learn those. You don't have to learn the words in the brackets, but be prepared for a question that goes along the lines, what are the Amazon leadership principles? And tell me all 14 of them. So then let's now take a look at some sample interview questions and answers for your Amazon leadership principles interview. So I'm going to go through these in detail. I'll give you a sample question based on what I think will come up during your interview. I will then give you a sample answer to that interview question. Now you can either pause the video as I go along, or if you want to wait, I will tell you where you can download my full set of 22 Amazon leadership principles interview questions and high scoring answers. So the first question that we want to look at is, tell me about a time when you had to make a quick decision that was going to have a significant impact on the organisation. Here is my suggested answer. I was managing a project for a very important client with a small group of people from different departments across the organisation. We literally only had 10 days left before the project had to be completed when the client contacted me with an urgent project specification change request. The changes they were asking for would have a significant impact on the team's ability to complete the project on time, and it would also eat into our project budget. I had very little time to make a decision, and so I decided to agree to the changes primarily because two of our core values were flexibility and customer focus. The client had been with us for a long period of time, and I saw their business as a valuable asset for the future health of the organisation. Now, although we ended up making very little money from that project due to the unexpected specification change request, the client was very happy with the results, and they went on to spend significant amounts of money with us in the future due to the strong relationship we had built up with them. That is a very strong answer. What I like about it is in depth, and my advice is to give plenty of detail about how you demonstrate those Amazon leadership principles. So you're showing there that you can make a decision with little time available, and it is to the benefit of the organisation. So the next Amazon leadership principle interview question we want to prepare for is, describe a situation when you had to work with incomplete data or information. This is a challenging interview question, and here's my suggested answer. I was working on an internal project for my previous employer that required me to work closely with another member of staff from a different department. We'd been working very well together for the duration of the project, and we both had different skill sets and qualities that helped the project move forward nicely. However, towards the end of the project, I received a call from my work colleague's manager saying that she'd been taken ill and that I would need to finish the project on my own. Now, the only way for me to complete the project would be to use the limited information I had available, which my colleague had previously passed on to me before she went off sick. In the evenings, after work, I carried out lots of research to find out how to complete the elements of the project my work colleague had been responsible for. I ended up taking an online course, and I also went online to a couple of technical chat forums to ask for advice and information from the elements of the project I was struggling with. I'm pleased to say that after many nights additional work And also by using the limited information my colleague had given to me, I was able to put the remaining pieces of the jigsaw puzzle in place and complete the project on time and to the correct standards. So that is showing that you can use incomplete information and data. You can then take ownership of the situation. You are resourceful because you're finding different ways to sort things out, and then you complete that project on your own. So that is being a completer, finisher, somebody who delivers results. Now, I still have some questions to go through, so please don't go anywhere. But when you're ready, if you want to click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, it takes you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, where you can download my full set of 22 Amazon Leadership Principles interview questions and top scoring answers. Okay, but stick around because I've still got some more to run through. But like I say, when you're ready, if you click that link, you can download a copy of those. The cost is only $7.99, which is nothing. It's a very small investment if you want to prepare fully for your Amazon leadership interview. So the next interview question is number 3. Tell me about a time when you had to take a calculated risk at work. Here is my suggested answer. In a previous job, I had not been there that long when I was offered a promotion. Now, this came entirely out of the blue, and whilst I am very ambitious and enthusiastic, I decided to turn it down. The reason for me turning down the opportunity was based on the fact I genuinely wanted to learn my new role to a high standard so I could then help the organisation and my team develop. Although I feel I could have performed well within the promotion, I did not want to risk my reputation and the performance of the company, especially as I had only been there for a relatively short period of time. Now, this was obviously a risk on my part, as I may not have been offered the opportunity for promotion again in the future. However, it proved to be the right decision, as my manager respected my choice, and I actually went on to be one of the company's highest achievers. So that shows that you are putting the organisation first, you are not thinking about yourself, but you are able to take a calculated risk, and it's proved to be the right one. The next Amazon Leadership Principle interview question is, tell me about a time when you found a simple solution to a complex problem. This is a tough one, real tough one. Here is my suggested answer. I was in a meeting in my previous job where the company's sales figures were being discussed by the managers. Although the sales figures were healthy, there was concern amongst the group that the profitability was not as good as it should be due to the marketing spend that was ongoing. At the end of the meeting, I decided to try and find a solution to this problem. I met up with the marketing team and they explained to me the bulk of the marketing spend was actually going on Facebook and social media adverts. After some investigative work, it became apparent that the team were not using Facebook's tracking pixels that are designed to measure the performance of the advertising spend. I quickly informed them of what I had found, and moving forward from that day on, the organisation was able to measure accurately the marketing return on investment. This allowed us to cease adverts that were not giving us any return, which in turn increased profitability. So that shows that you are, again, taking responsibility, you are thinking on your feet, you're being smart, intelligent, and you are taking ownership of a situation to sort it out, which is great. So let's have a look at some more Amazon Leadership Principle interview questions. Don't forget, at any point, if you do want to skip over to my website and download the full set, you can do. But here's some more questions. Tell me how you would complete a project or task if you had limited time or resources. Tell me about a time when you experienced conflict within a team. Give me 2 examples of when you have gone above and beyond what was expected. Don't forget, that is the customer obsession principle. Have you ever failed at work? If so, tell me what happened and how you reacted. When have you had to overcome a challenging situation at work? When have you had a disagreement at work, either with a work colleague or a manager? Give me a situation where you've previously shown one of Amazon's leadership principles at work. Tell me about an unpopular decision you had to make at work. Give me one thing you will like the most about being a leader with Amazon, and one thing you will dislike. That's a tough one. Tell me a time when you had to give bad news to a member of your team. Give me an example when you led a team of people to achieve an organisation's goal or objective. Tell me about a time when you had to persuade someone to follow your course of action. When did you have to overcome a difficult challenge at work? Give me an example at work where you improved how you did something to achieve a better outcome. That's a common one that comes up. Tell me about a time when you learned something new that was outside of your comfort zone. Tell me about a time when you received criticism from a manager or a work colleague. How did you react to the feedback? Tell me about a time when you analysed information carefully to overcome a challenging task or project. And tell me about a time when you had to make an effective decision under pressure. So if you would like the answers to all of those 22 questions that I've gone through, including the 4 that I ran through previously, please click the link in the top right hand corner of the video and it goes through to this website. So you can have a look at those questions. I give you the answers, as I say, so I talk about the leadership principles there, and I also give you 4 great tips. So I recommend you read those as well because they will certainly help you. So don't forget, it's a small investment, $7.99, to get all of the answers, my suggested answers to those Amazon leadership principles interview questions. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Like I say, that tells me you enjoy the content. And if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, please, check out my link in the description below the video. Thank you very much for supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. Have a brilliant day, and I wish you all the best for passing your Amazon Leadership Principles interview. Thank you very much.